Good evening, distinguished guests, respected attendees, and my fellow colleagues. It is with great pleasure and anticipation that I stand before you today, extending a warm welcome to each and every one of you. I hope the pre-seminar refreshments were delightful and have left you all sufficiently fueled. We are gathered here today for Budget Manthan. The word Manthan in Sanskrit means introspection, contemplation, and seeking deeper understanding or knowledge. Our goal behind organizing today's seminar is to guide you through the intricacies of the union budget and foster a thorough understanding of this crucial document that shapes the economic trajectory of the country. Before we dive into the topic, let's quickly run through our today's packed agenda designed to provide you with a comprehensive and an engaging experience. We will commence the event with a keynote address by Mangesh sir, followed by a budget presentation. Following this, we will transition into a panel discussion led by industry experts who will provide us with industry perspective. Subsequently, we will open the floor to you for a question and answer round. Your active participation is highly encouraged and is integral for the success of the event. Now, without further ado, I would like to call upon Mangesh sir on the stage. His insights and passion for imparting knowledge will promise to add tremendous value to our gathering. Please join me in welcoming Mangesh sir.
So thanks, Tanvi. And good evening, friends. Before we start today's session on Budget Manthan, I would like to share the trigger behind this and from where all this emanates. For that, I will take few moments to share my life experiences. As a student, academically, I was fortunate to get into the R.A. Poddar College, the premier institution that time, and today also. As a young person, full of zest to conquer academic excellence and never face failure in life. I would say confidence on my sleeves, and destiny struck me. Some of you might be aware, that time there was a diploma, a government commercial diploma. And there was one commercial geography paper. Okay. और मेरी कमर्शियल ज्योग्राफी से बहुत पुरानी दुश्मनी थी और अभी भी है, आगे भी रहेगी. I appeared for the exam. I failed once, not once, twice, and that too miserably. That was the, lowest point in my academic career. Somehow I gathered some myself, and with commitment, I cleared my subsequent professional examination with flying colors. After a lot of turmoil, what I understood, I learned two things. Failure don't define us, neither it defines me. And it is possible for every one of us, to get better at something even if we have failed. Is it not? Now coming to the trigger of today's session, sharing of knowledge. After academic career, thereafter I got into the practice and established my practice, and being a successful professional, whatever I have to take, I have to take all the parameters. No doubt that is with the principles, underlying principles of the client's interest is paramount and the service with impeccable quality and transparency. Everything was going very good. I was on joyride. But luck would have had it. Destiny again shows me a mirror. Somewhere in 2008, it was going very good, having good clients, good cash flows, corporate clients, good family, good team. Everything you want to take the parameter of a blessed person. But despite that, I trapped into a lowest psychological point. the question that appeared before me is that why I am doing what I am doing. And that why is important for every one of us. It took me some time to come out of it, to understand and realize one universal truth of life. That beyond catering to clients, amassing wealth, management team, it's all about searching that why behind my every action. Why we do it, what we do it. After a lot of introspection, I realized that it all starts from awareness and spreading awareness. In our firm also, we breathe this. And our every action starts with spreading awareness. I thought to share this with you with the sheer intention that you can relate with the today's presentation and efforts behind it. And with this positive and personal sharing, I will start with our session, that is Budget Manthan. So, on the budget day, big day for all professionals or industrialists, housewives, every section of the society, is it not? It's very big day, 1st of February. After the budget speech, which was the shortest speech of our Honorable Finance Minister, there was a call from some of my friends, Mangesh, आता काय करायचं? They were worried. You understood? आता काय करायचं म्हणजे? What should we do now? Obviously, because there are no major announcements in the budget, because election is around the corner, and it is prudent that they will not dole out or they will not give any handout to gain the votes. But frankly, when I saw the budget, it recollected me of a cricket match. A cricket match, once I went to see a cricket match at Wankhede Stadium, and what I find, that I'm waiting for that Kohli and Dhoni to fire T20 match, that euphoria. Make a mantha, or Megraj hum pe prasanna ho gaye, and cricket match got washed out. So that was the feeling when I heard that budget speech. Abhi kya karenge? So this was the feeling, with that feeling. But if you analyze before the budget day, it was surprisingly every industry, be it a real estate industry, gold industry, or it may be a logistic industry, salary cars, everyone was expecting and submitting their wish list to the Honorable Finance Minister and Ministry. That realized me, by and large, when we see the budget from very narrow perspective. What is there for me in that budget? मला काय आहे त्या बजेटमध्ये? तेवढाच आपला एक नॅरो पर्स्पेक्टिव्ह असतो. बघा तुम्ही. Barring few exceptions, we never look at the budget figures for understanding what is there for my nation. Is it not? We generally, mostly, we are more concerned about my monthly budget. But annual budget of our nation, we hardly, I'm not saying in general, but exceptions, by and large, people don't see in that. So what are the economic policies of my country? What are the policies of the country, whether they are consistent? And whether these reforms will take my nation to the dream of 2047, which is a Viksit Bharat. So point is, budget is much more wider. But having said that, of the recent time, if you see, GST, because of the GST, indirect tax is out of the budget arena, so finance minister arena. Then direct taxes, already they have rationalized the taxes. We can't expect many more rollouts or exemptions for direct taxes concerned. So then what is left in budget? So every budget, I started this studying this budget aspect from the economic point of view 4 or 5 years back, and we have been doing these online seminars, online webinars for last 2-3 years. So budget contains what it contains. One is, it gives March 23 done and dusted, that year is finished. For 23-24, there are budget estimates, what they have done, but already 9 months are over. We know where do we stand. जैसे हम लोग बजट करते हैं ना, that I'm budgeting for this expense, and after 5-6 months I realize, no, this budget I have not done it properly, so I revise that budget. So in this budget, there are revised estimates of the 23-24 and the actuals of the 23-24. So what we'll be covering is the budget economics or the budget actuals of 23-24 and 24-24 highlights. So when I see the budget, that time I find that it's a challenge. But in that challenge, always the opportunity lies. I find that because of this budget, now what I can do is that I can spend more time analyzing the challenges and opportunities before India's growth story. Haven't every one of us heard that there is a euphoria in the stock market, and generally we understand that my country is doing well just because my stock index, Sensex index has gone from 50,000 to 70,000. But that is only one benchmark. Okay. Many a times the fundamentals and the sentiments, it is more driven by the sentiments. And again, I am not the expert of BSE or NSE or stock market, but it is 100 companies or 50 companies for which then index is created. So that doesn't give the picture of each and every segment or corner of the nation. So on this note, we will move on to our budget discussion. Before that, what do you see in this image? 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Small baby. Yes? Louder? Old lady. How many of you can see old lady in this? Please raise your hand. Few. How many of you can see young lady in this? So, young lady के favor में ज़्यादा हाथ ऊपर आ रहे हैं. So we can. So all male are alike. It's a blue का कुछ ad है ना, Indian blue. Men are like men. So, how many of you can identify both the images? Yes. So, both the images. So this is, okay. So what is the relevance of this in today's budget session? आपको लगेगा अरे मंगेश को कुछ बोलने का नहीं है इसलिए सब दिखा रहा है, हाँ? It's not that. The relevance of this is that just like this is an optic illusion. ये 100 साल पुरानी पिक्चर है optic illusion की. We may have a different perspective about the budget data and economic indicators. That does not mean that someone is right and I am wrong, or someone is wrong and I am right. It demonstrates two people can see the same thing and disagree, but yet both are right. So we should respect the other's opinion with the same data. With this understanding, we start today's budget presentation. So it will have 5 parts. The introduction we are done. Now India growth story. So India growth story is really a growth story, as we have said, just because Sensex is going up and we are saying, oh, everything is hunky-dory for India. Is it that? Then there is, in India growth story, basic concepts, then key economic indicators we'll cover, that budget snapshots for 24-25, thanks to our Honorable Finance Minister, keeping the prudence, not giving the dole-outs, and keeping the Chartered Accountant fraternity, giving a less work for the budget analysis. And then we'll go to the challenges and opportunities. What are the challenges and opportunities? When I have studied the budget carefully, or the budget highlights which they have given, I can correlate different points and the circle is complete. How we will see in our presentation. So basic concept, quick. This is not a class of 12th commerce, but GDP is total value of goods and services, okay? They have given a different definition: governance, development, and performance. Every other thing they are giving a different definition, okay? So now what is fiscal deficit? The fiscal deficit, you must have heard the fiscal deficit, and this number they are comparing for the last 5-6 years data or 10 years data. Why fiscal deficit is very much important? But you ask common person, नहीं यार वो तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आता, what is fiscal deficit? It is so simple that I am having 1 lakh rupees in hand and I want to spend 1,50,000. What will you do? 50,000? Borrow. It's simple. It's a borrowing. So that difference is borrowing. Okay. Now, what is revenue deficit? I can understand fiscal deficit. What is revenue deficit? That means my salary is 1 lakh, but my monthly household expenditure is 1,20,000. Similarly, for government also, my revenue expenditure exceeds my revenue receipts. Now, this is more alarming situation, and which we are also facing, like any other emerging economy. Whether it is right or wrong, that is a different part, that will go into that. And last one is current account deficit. What is current account deficit? For any country, foreign exchange earning or foreign exchange reserves is a key thing. Now, current account deficit means whatever I am importing. India is a big importer of oil because we are not producing oil. 80% of the oil is imported outside India, from outside India, and exports are mainly service exports. Okay, so what is net is suppose my import is 1,000 rupees and my export is 200 rupees, then my deficit is 800 rupees. So now I'll come to the economic indicators, key economic indicators. India's growth story, key economic indicators. So what they are saying. So what are those indicators? I know from the audience also there are many more learned people who can also add some key economic indicators, but looking at the time constraint, I am touching upon few economic indicators. One is budget versus actual. जब हम लोग budget versus actual, जैसे मैंने बोला था, when we have started the session, what is there in the budget? What is there in the budget? If you see tax revenue, which was budgeted estimate of 23-24, that is current year, was 23.30 lakh crore. And it has gone to, now they have revised the estimate, that is 23-24. If you can see, that is 23.23 lakh crore again. Now, how do you say that what I have budgeted, that I have achieved? By comparing my performance, current performance. So as of now, what I have as a government, or this year, how much tax revenue we have achieved? 17.29 lakh crore. So percentage of actual against budgeted is 75%. So that means whatever budgeted by the government last year as far as tax revenue, we have achieved. That is one point. I am making some of the points and quickly going forward. So far so good. लेकिन आपने सुना रहेगा कि टैक्स रेवेन्यू तो बड़ा है, बराबर? टैक्स रेवेन्यू बड़ा है ना, लेकिन यहाँ अगर देखोगे तो टैक्स बजट एस्टिमेट से रिवाइज एस्टिमेट्स उन्होंने कम किए, फ्रॉम 23.30 lakhs to 23.23. इसके पीछे रीजन ये है कि उन्होंने कुछ अमाउंट स्टेट को ट्रांसफर किए. एक्चुअली हमारा जीएसटी और इनकम टैक्स बढ़ा है, दैट विल सी इन नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. नाउ व्हाट इज नॉन टैक्स रेवेन्यू? फ्रॉम 301 to 375 करोड़. ये नॉन टैक्स रेवेन्यू क्या है? जो मुझे डिविडेंड और इंटरेस्ट से मिलता है. अभी डिविडेंड आरबीआई हैज गिवन अराउंड इन May 23 84,000 crore to the government. So because of that, this non-tax revenue budgeted estimates, they have revised to 3.75 lakhs crore. Now disinvestment. Third one is disinvestment. Regarding disinvestment, they are they have revised their budget from 61,000 to 30,000. Reason क्या है इसका कि disinvestment के बारे में they are just being cautious. Why they are cautious? Because disinvestment आपको मालूम है LIC का disinvestment हुआ था, I think Air India का भी हो गया था. But there are certain more, that is HPCL, BPCL. These companies, government yet to show the steps, actionable steps for the disinvestment. The reason they are giving for not disinvesting, वो क्यों दे रहे reason disinvesting का, वो क्या बोल रहे हैं कि this is not a opportune time, एक correct समय नहीं आया है कि मैं आज disinvest करूं. लेकिन उसके अंदर अंडरलाइन भी एक पॉलिटिकल रीजन है कि अगर आप ये जेम्स है ना, इनके क्या बोलते हैं उसको, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट ऑर्नामेंट्स है उनके, नवरत्न, यस नवरत्न, या दिस इज ट्रेजर, यस हुसैन सर कह रहे हैं कि वो ट्रेजर्स है. सो अगर ये डिस्काउंटेड रेट्स में बेच दूं तो टुमारो इट मे हैपन दैट अपोजिशन विल रेज अ पॉइंट, अरे व्हाट यू आर डूइंग सेलिंग आवर ट्रेजर्स विथ थ्रो अवे प्राइसेस. So they want to take their time and take the appropriate time to arrive at the disinvestment measures. Now borrowings के बारे में हम लोग चैलेंज में डिस्कस करेंगे. क्या चैलेंजेस में इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी फंड ने जो दिसंबर 23 में रिपोर्ट निकाली थी, वो रिपोर्ट में उनके क्या ऑब्जर्वेशन थे, हमारे गवर्नमेंट के उसके ऊपर क्या रिप्लाईज थे, वो हम लोग उसमें डिस्कस करेंगे. बट बोरोइंग अगेन इज अ पेन पॉइंट फॉर इंडिया लाइक एनी अदर इमर्जिंग इकोनॉमी. नाउ विल कम टू द नेक्स्ट वन. इफ यू सी इन पॉइंट नंबर 8, अनफॉर्चुनेटली दिस लेजर इज नॉट वर्किंग. इन पॉइंट नंबर 8 रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर में इंटरेस्ट देखिए आप 10.79 लाख करोड़ और रिवाइज एस्टिमेट 10.55 लाख करोड़. जब मेरा बोराइंग उतना है तो ऑब्वियसली मेरे इंटरेस्ट पार्ट भी मुझे देना ही देना है. सो दैट ऑल्सो विल कवर इन अवर challenges part. Okay. Now this is a pictorial presentation of comparison of budgeted estimates with revised. इसमें पॉजिटिव बात क्या है कि जो गवर्नमेंट ने जो टैक्स रेवेन्यू बजट किया था उसमें से 75% उनका हो गया है, तो बाकी का 3 महीने में 25% तो होने ही वाला है. नॉन टैक्स रेवेन्यू बिकॉज डिविडेंड्स आर मोर तो 100% हो गया है. फिस्कल डेफिसिट, नाउ फिस्कल डेफिसिट इट वाज 5.9% and they have revised to 5.8%. Okay, now next key economic indicators we'll touch upon quickly. Why quickly? I'll take some more time on challenges and opportunities. Challenges and opportunities. Okay. So GDP at current market price. Everyone is saying that GDP is growing. Yes, GDP is growing, barring 2021. Why? Why GDP has not grown in 2021? Any reason? It's a COVID. It's a no-brainer. It's a COVID. After that, 21, 22, 22, 23, and 23, 24, and that is the reason they are saying by 2027 we'll target for 5 trillion, and then 2030 10 trillion, and 2047 some more. World economies. Now we'll compare why we are doing better than any other country in the world. If you see, the world is doing at 2.9%, and where India, as per this is RBI report, they are saying 7%, but it is 6.4%. If you see Euro area, it is 0.7, Japan 0.9, Russia 1.5, US 1.6. These are the projections at which every country is going, and that is the reason they are saying that India is an economic bright spot, and that is a hope for the entire world. But again, there are certain riders that we will see. Now, per capita GDP. When I discussed with my elder brother, he told me that GDP is not only important, Mangesh. You show what is per capita GDP. What is per capita GDP? That means total GDP upon population. हम लोग population पे भी बात करेंगे. Favorite है मेरा. We'll see the population challenges. So what is per capita GDP? Is it good enough? That also you see. This is just the indicators. Now, if you see 1920, it was 1,51,000. Then it has dropped in 2021. 21-22, it has again risen. Then 22-23. So it is showing an upward trend. Today's per capita GDP is 2,12,600. Whether it is good enough, comparison data of US and other advanced economies, we can always compare, but time constraint will go ahead. Tax buoyancy. अगर आप देखोगे tax buoyancy, why it is happening, how it is happening, what they are doing back of the door, we must understand. Yesterday, I think Nitin Gupta, CBDT chairman, and Agarwal, CBIC, he's a chairman, again CBIC, they were discussing how they are correlating their data between different departments, how they are using AI technology. He was talking about generative AI technology. I was amazed. I was aware, but hearing that from horse's mouth, they are saying they are doing machine learning, they are doing machine data analytics, what not. And no wonder this is the outcome. If you see year on year, last year April to November, and this year April to November, 25% rise. It's not a rise of 2 to 3%. From 19 year on year, I'm saying comparative data, it is gone up by 93% as far as income tax is concerned. Now, as GST is concerned, this year, average monthly collection 1.66 lakh crore per month. And now he's saying this is the new benchmark, it is a new normal. Earlier, it was 1.10 lakhs, then 1.20, 1.30, 1.40, 1.50 जब भी मिला बहुत. तो अभी सर क्या हो गया कि उनको बोल रहे 1.66 will be a new normal. That's what Mr. Agarwal was saying. So, and they are saying that we have further potential in the tax to grow or tax base to grow. So, these are furthermore some statistics. What are those statistics? 12-13 में 6.38 lakhs crore था मेरा नेट डायरेक्ट टैक्स कलेक्शन. आज के डेट में वो 16 लाख करोड़ है. जंप है 161 करोड़ 161% का. अगेन नेट डायरेक्ट टैक्स टू जीडीपी, दिस इज वन मोर बेंचमार्क. अगर मैं डायरेक्ट टैक्स टू जीडीपी रेशो है ना, अगर आप कंपेयर करते हो तो वो 5.62% था 12-13 में. अभी जीडीपी तो बढ़ गया. 12-13 में जीडीपी कितना, अभी 3 ट्रिलियन है, तो 3 ट्रिलियन 300 लाख करोड़. मुझे वहाँ ट्रिलियन और बिलियन समझ में नहीं आता है frankly. Many times my friend Heyman, he is mostly traveling across the India, across world, sorry. So I अरे हेमंत हे बिलियन म्हणजे काय मला जरा सांग बाबा, ट्रिलियन म्हणजे काय सांग, आम्हाला करोड कळतं. But if you see, if your foreign exchange reserve also, they are saying they are in billions. Then I calculate a billion, that means 100 crores into, that too in dollar. तो 80 करके कितना आता है निकालो. Okay. So coming back to this net direct tax to GDP ratio, again, what 15th Finance Commission is saying in this, is it good enough? That also we'll see. Now cost of collection of DT. Now cost of collection, earlier the cost of collection was, it was 0.57. Now this year it has come to 0.51. Now again this is an achievement, because this is all possible because of they are not using traditional methods. क्या आपको भी कभी आता है क्या फिजिकल नोटिस आता है किसी का? नहीं आता है, मेल पे आ जाता है, कभी कभी असेसमेंट ऑर्डर भी आ जाता है. Now percentage of increase in total number of ITRs filed 100% from 12-13 to 22-23. Why I am showing this indicators, this is the base on which the India is destined to grow or destined to become a Viksit Bharat by 2047. But for that, what are the, again, impediments that we'll see. Okay. Now Capex, again, this is all in newspaper. I'll not take much time, but Capex is one of the key instrument government has used in 2020. In 2020, again, because of the COVID. कोविड में क्या हुआ था, नो वन, इट हैज कम टू स्टैंड स्टिल एंड गवर्नमेंट वांट्स टू मूव द इकोनॉमी एंड दे वांट टू यूज द क्राउड इन. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय क्राउड इन? कि अगर मैं इन्वेस्टमेंट करता हूं, आफ्टर सम टाइम दिस प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टर विल ऑल्सो कम इन. दैट इज अ क्राउड इन टर्मिनोलॉजी दे यूज. क्राउड आउट मतलब बाहर निकालना, क्राउड इन मतलब अंदर लाना. तो कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर दिस ईयर ऑल्सो दे हैव इंक्रीज बाय 11.11%, और वो भी 11 ऐसा कुछ किया है ना. सो आई रियली अडोर द वेरियस गिमिक्स ऑफ they have used 11 lakh point 11 lakh crore. Okay, so capital expenditure. Now these are some of the physical infrastructure. We have stalwarts with us, Hussain sir, Gajbiyeh sir, Sinha sir. They have worked in the physical infrastructure. I was asking Hussain sir to be on panel on this. He's an ex-GNPT chairman. He has worked on the port. We could have, and I asked him that specifically you have to speak on the infrastructure side today. So national highways from financial year 15 to financial year 22, 97,000 to 1,44,000 crores. So cargo traffic, again at major ports, electrified railroad, aircraft movements, FY15 to a number of airports. Why I am showing this data? Reason. मैं अगर बोलता हूँ मैंने खर्चा किया है, खर्चा तो कर दिया मैंने, लेकिन कहाँ किया? I have spent money, but ultimately where that money has gone. Okay, so that is the reason there is an improvement in physical infrastructure. Now reserves, again, foreign exchange reserves, I think somewhere in 92, 93, we had a difficult time. If I am correct, not correct, please correct me, that we had a difficult time about foreign exchange reserves. Now those foreign exchange reserves, what is the today's position? It is increased by 10% of the last year. Equivalent, they generally say equivalent of how many months import of India? That is 10 times, 10 months import. अपना total external debt है उसका 97% अपने पास reserves है. December 22 में $557 billion, again ये calculate करो आप, और $617 billion in December 23. Okay, next. So once now we have covered the key economic indicators, we'll come to the budget highlights of 24-25. Many of the people of the opinion that 2019 में, मैं भी frankly बोलूँ, अभी भी मुझे किसी ने पूछा, अरे मंगेश, why you have not kept this in July? My friend Shrenik has asked me this question. मुझे, I am not an astrologer. I told him I'll answer, I am not an astrologer. Because in 2019, same situation, same government, still they have, same, that time also it was an interim budget, but they have introduced some 50,000 on the exemption, addition kuch kiya tha. It was not an interim budget, but this time that is more prudent on government to not to give freebies, not to give dole-outs, to impress the voters, to earn the votes. So this is in good, in a way, it's a really commendable step. Or otherwise, one would say they are confident of coming back. So what are the cornerstones of interim budget? I'll not, you must have read in all newspaper, abhi kya in across nation what is going on. And again, I'm apolitical, I don't want to comment on this, but we are unfortunately divided in caste and creeds. And it's no surprise they have come with one more. If you see the budget speech, what he has said, that there will be only this caste, GAN. One is Garib, then youth, then Annadata, that is farmer, and fourth one is Nari. So these are, again, they are very good at implementing, but they are very good at coining the words. So this GAN, they are saying that this is a new definition of caste. And if you really introspect, Garib has no caste. युवा has no caste. If someone not unemployed from other caste, उसका दुख क्या मेरे दुख से ज़्यादा है क्या? नहीं है ना, सिंपल. फार्मर का कास्ट खुश होता है क्या? मी कोकणातला आहे, माझी ज्या आंब्याच्या झाडामध्ये आंबा लागत नाही, बाकीच्या पण झाडांमध्ये लागत नाही. फॉर दॅट सॉरी टू जब if monsoon, erratic monsoon hit me, that hits everyone. And Nari Shakti, woman empowerment. I was discussing with Shetali that you comment on that. What government is doing good for the woman empowerment, and what is the actual on the field? Capex. Now Capex outlay, again 3.4% of the GDP, 11.11 lakh crore, highlights. Now infrastructure development, they are saying that infrastructure development, housing, sustainable development, and education and health, sorry. Infrastructure development, उन्होंने क्या किया पहले infrastructure में? Now 3 major railway corridors. Now we don't going deep into that, but what they are doing, these corridors, they are specifically creating for that particular. Suppose energy, mineral के लिए तो वही corridor पे काम करेगा, वो दूसरा railway उधर नहीं चलेगा. Port connectivity है तो different port को connect करने के लिए वो railways लाएंगे उसके ऊपर. Okay. Then research and development. Research and development definitely will touch upon in our challenges part. Why? 1 lakh crore corpus will be established for 50 years, interest-free loan. Why they are doing? We must understand. Yeah, ऐसा ही नहीं कि आया और मैंने 1 lakh crore declare किया. There is some scientific data from my study. Okay. Now again, private and public investment in post-harvest activities. We are so blessed to be here, and we many a times criticize the farmers' agony and waiver of loans. I am from a farmer family. त्याच्यामुळे मला माहिती आहे की how erratic it is, and why there is a necessary to invest money in the R&D sector of agriculture. The post-harvest activities. The most, food grains are getting wasted just because there is no proper storage facility and warehousing facility. Hemant will comment in our panel discussion on this. Now airports. Expansion of existing airports. No wonder, if I have not taken the data, but number of travelers increased manifold. Reason and impact. अभी I was debating with someone कि private investment नहीं हो रही है, तो सिंह सर उन्होंने क्या कहा, private investment कहाँ नहीं हो रही है? Our private aviation industry, they have order for 1,000 planes. You must have heard in the news, 1,000 planes, 1,000 planes. Reason is most of the machinery is going to be deplaned, or it will be on the ground. So that is the reason this expansion of existing airports is necessary. Education and health, again we will touch upon. What they have done, I will not, what are the plans, we will not go into the detail, but we will definitely. Housing, 2 crore for next 5 years under PMAY, we will touch upon in the challenges. The housing, we have with us Singh sir, who is a ex-RERA member. He will give us his insight pertaining to the what are the challenges or where the real estate industry is going. He has seen both the sides rather. He had been to the CIDCO and he has held so many posts higher posts in the government. But after seeing both the sides, we would definitely love to hear from you, sir, what is the contribution of real estate sector to the India's GDP? Now middle class housing scheme to be launched. अभी ये क्या है? Final budget आने वाला है. तो इन्होंने सिर्फ आपको बता दिया middle class housing scheme to be launched. Now some of my friends from real estate industry are there. I will definitely would like to ask them a question: why big developers are not venturing into what it call it? Affordable housing. सध्या बदाम खाणं कमी केलंय मी. So affordable housing. So Atul, I would definitely ask you this question, why you are not entering into affordable housing? What is stopping you from entering into affordable housing? Now, every one of us know that what Sugi stands in the other Worli area. So why Sugi is not venturing into the affordable housing when government is ready to support affordable housing? I know where is the pain point, but I would like to hear it from you. Yes. Next. Now direct tax. Direct tax में बहुत कुछ लाया है. But there are certain things, you know, withdrawal of outstanding tax demand. अगर आपके tax demand up to 25,000 है, or it is pertaining to financial year 9-10, then it will be withdrawn. Or up to 10,000 है for 10-11 to 14-15, it will be withdrawn. It will have impact on 1 crore taxpayers, 1 crore taxpayers. Now, while discussing why they have initiated this step, reason being, जो ये अभी 1961 पकड़ के लो 60 years हो गए, more than 60 years income tax. So there is a legacy issues. कब से पड़े हैं वो outstanding, उसका recovery cost कितना होगा? What they have requested finance ministry that, madam, please allow us to write off this so that we can focus on, you know, those outstanding demands which are on higher side. So that is the reason, but from this we have said on the, if you are having 25,000 or 10,000, you can always forget that demand. अभी भरो मत वो. नहीं तो अभी आपका हरिश्चंद्र राजा जागा होगा और आप भर दोगे. So now we'll come to the budget at glance. ये बजट ऐसा नहीं है कि बजट में what is interim budget is for this is for 3-4 months, but they have budgeted for full year. वोट ऑन अकाउंट के लिए जितना खर्चा चाहिए उतना 2 महीने के लिए उसने खर्चा अप्रोप्रिएशन बिल से निकाल लेंगे. अभी रिसीट्स कितने हैं? 47.65 लाख करोड़. One point I would like to make. Then out of that 17 lakh crore is capital receipt. कैपिटल रिसीट आप जानते हो कि वो कैपिटल रिसीट अगर मैं कुछ बेच के आ रहा है मुझे असेट तो बहुत अच्छा है सर, लेकिन वो कैपिटल रिसीट कौन सा है कि इट इज आउट ऑफ बोराइंग. दैट इज 16 लाख करोड़ इज अगेन बोराइंग नेक्स्ट ईयर. ओके. सो इन एक्सपेंडिचर साइड only one point I want to make again here. Expenditure out of 47.65 lakhs crore expenditure, interest payment is again 11.90 crores, lakh crore. Abhi aap just imagine that you are having 100 rupees and 25 rupees you are paying only for interest. And year on year you are taking loan. Year on year. मेरा तो loan पहले से है ही 82% or 83% of my GDP is loan. उसके अलावा मैं लोन ले रहा हूं. वो किसके लिए ले रहा हूं? There is a reason. I'm not saying, I'm not commenting on that. There is a reason. If I don't take any emerging economy, if they want to, or any developing economy, they have to invest. If they have to invest, if they don't invest, they don't invest in a capex, how the economy will prosper? Then what is the alternative? We'll see in our challenges. Rupee comes from, one more point here. ये तो रूपी कम्स फ्रॉम, तो आप सब पेपर में देख लोगे तो आपने बोला यार आके मुझे रूपी कम्स फ्रॉम क्या दिखा रहे हो. आई एम मेकिंग फ्यू पॉइंट्स ओवर हियर. आई एम नॉट शोइंग वेयर रूपी कम्स फ्रॉम. आप देखोगे ना, दिस कॉर्पोरेशन टैक्स इज 17% एंड माई पर्सनल टैक्स इज 19%. मतलब 100 रुपया से 19 रुपया उनको कहाँ से आ रहा है? पर्सनल टैक्सेशन जो आप और मैं भर रहे हो. और कॉर्पोरेशन टैक्स से 17% आ रहा है. ऐसा क्यों? एनीवन फ्रॉम दी, ऐसा क्यों? व्हाट इज द रीजन? एनीवन, एनी गेस? यस, यू कैन पार्टिसिपेट वेरी वेल. एनी गेस? कॉर्पोरेट CIT कॉर्पोरेशन इनकम टैक्स में कंपनी इनकम टैक्स वो ज्यादा क्यों है पर्सनल इनकम टैक्स से? श्योर? यस, लाउडली, loudly. Yes. Yes, yes. So Nishesh, being a ardent student of the topic, he has bang on. So corporation tax, as company tax, has been reduced in 20. Right now, companies corporate tax is 22% from 30%. But for manufacturing companies, it has brought down to 15%. If you are manufacturing company setting up something, and that, if for why they have done it, to promote indigenous production. Okay. So now next one is again borrowings. Borrowing is 29%. If you see out of 1 rupee, 100 rupees, 29 rupees is coming from borrowing, and GST 18%. So 2 points. एक तो कॉर्पोरेशन टैक्स मेरा ज़्यादा जा रहा है, दूसरा पॉइंट मेरा 100 रुपया में से मेरे बोरोइंग्स है वो 30 रुपया है, 29%. So this is the state. Rupee goes to, again only 1 point, इंटरेस्ट कितना जा रहा है 21%. 100 रुपया मैं कमा रहा हूँ तो 21 रुपया मेरा इंटरेस्ट में ही जा रहा है. Nothing else I can share on this. Let us go ahead.